Welcome to part 2 of Digital Break-In. And as I was saying as I come out of part 1, prove me wrong with the Word of God. But I'm going to recap the question I asked at the end of part 1. Why would Mr. Gates be part of this, and him a computer man, and part of making this with his AI program, if it didn't tie to that? The Digi one. The digital currency. Why would he need to be part of it? Why would he need to be part of building something for your health? Because it had nothing to do with health and everything to do with deceiving you into receiving the mark. Because, as I said, the Parliament has proven these things don't even protect you or protect anyone else from you. So get that through your mind. These don't protect you either. They just block your own natural immune system from doing its job. They block out the things where you can't build an immunity to them. So yes, do keep wearing those so you can drop dead of whatever illnesses is floating around out here. Do keep wearing those because that shows how unintelligent you are. You think these big highfalutin people are out for you and to help you. No, they are not. They're here to destroy you. They work for the beast system. Their job is to get rid of the heirs of God. So you are just a bug to them to be squashed. And it is time that you realize that. It absolutely is.
To know who you are to transact this business without some kind of verified digital ID.
Now let's recap just a little here.
Right now, so that the functionality is tested and ready to go for 2023. It is coming, Brandon, but it is two parts.
No,
the first part, you'll start to see,
said,
this is already happening in Australia as we speak, is you will not be able to...
2023, she said. Now, that should tell you something about their 2030 agenda. That's a lie. Their agenda is not for 2030. If this is already been set up for 2023, the agenda is 2024. You best wake up.
To log into the internet, you'll have to agree to a digital ID. So that's the first step into FedNow or any kind of central bank digital currency. Because think about it, how will they be able to know who you are to transact this business without some kind of verified digital ID? So if we look at the G20 meeting that happened in November last month, you saw that the G20 agreed in principle.
How does your credit cards know who you are? Every time you go to the store and swipe them or stick them up in that little card reader. Because you already have a digital ID.
And basically came out of the conference stating as much that they would agree to a global digital passport. This is the beginning of the digital ID. In Australia right now, they are implementing the digital ID that basically you cannot log into your computer, into any social media with
a global digital ID. You understanding that? A global digital ID. Okay, this is where we are headed, folks. To a global digital ID. A global digital ID. And, sorry about the movement. But I had to put the phone down for a second. But a global digital ID. Global digital ID. And, hold on. Let me just go back for just a second. I want her to say that again.
G20 agreed in principle and basically came out of the conference stating as much that they would agree to a global digital passport. This is the beginning of the digital ID.
Global digital passport. Where have we heard that before? I think that's what they were talking about doing with these things, right? A global digital passport for these. Oh, look at that. How they are the same, but yet different. One is health, one is money. Oh, look. It's not like they can't patch them together. I mean, what would they need to do to patch them together? Have little nanobots that would require, let's say a computer genius to build something to give you y'all need to really put stuff together.
In Australia right now, they are implementing the digital ID that basically you cannot log into your computer into any social media without the digital ID. So the step one will be the complete
You can't
loss
log
of all
into the
autonomy
internet without
technologically, meaning
this.
you will not be able to log into anything without
Your own computer
form of
even.
government-approved digital verification. That's the first step. Once we have digital ID,
You can't even log into your own blasted computer, people, without this thing. Without the government saying you can. Totalitarian, even a little? Tyranny, even a little? Global control, even a little? Where are you at? When are y'all gonna wake up and see? We are no longer in a democracy. This is all hypocrisy. You have left God. Your problem is you think God is still watching over you and you're going to be just fine. Why would God watch over you? Why? Tell me that. Why would God watch over you when you have thrown things in His face for centuries? You got all these graven images up. You don't worship Him. You don't give Him the time of day. Why? Why is Jesus watching after you? Why? You know, there's church every weekend, several times a week, in fact. And what are you doing? You're out here doing your own thing. That's what you're doing. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Why would God, whom you have chucked out the door, you threw him out of the government, you threw him out of everything public, why would he watch after you? And as I was saying, there's church every weekend. Those of you that are called by his name all the time want to go around here posting and spouting 2 Chronicles 7:14, and yet you're not living by it. Stop doing that. Because you ain't giving him praise whatsoever. We are in the season of you embellishing yourself. You claim you're serving God. You claim you're worshiping his birthday, and yet no. What you're doing is worshiping yourselves. Because you're taking that right there and buying yourselves all kinds of lavish stuff, you and your family. Has nothing to do with celebrating Jesus. Nothing whatsoever. There is nowhere in the written word of God where it tells us to do that. Nowhere in the written word of God where it says to put up a Christmas tree. Nowhere in the written word of God where it says to adorn that idol with gold and silver and all kinds of other little trinkets. There's nowhere in the written word of God where it says then to put all kinds of pretty wrapped packages underneath that with a big fat lie attached to it saying that ho 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 brought that. Or Santa Claus. S-A-T-A-N are the same letters as S-A-N-T-A. That's Satan and Santa, in case you can't spell it. But what do you care? just so you get your loot, your little idols, just so you get what you want, sons of perdition, because you sit in the temple of God, declaring yourselves to be God, saying you have a right to celebrate Christmas however you wish to do it. Yes, you do, and you're going to go to hell for that. No, Jesus would never do that. Are you sure? Let's ask all the ones that remain living from the flood. Would Jesus destroy you for sinning against him? Oh, that's right. They can't answer because they're all dead. Let's ask the ones from Lot's day. Oh, that's right. We can't because they're crispy critters because he burnt them all up. How about that? Wherein dwelleth righteousness is what's going to happen in the kingdom of heaven. Righteousness
then this
is not guilty of filthy lucre and looking after self and just wanting to celebrate self to the point one can't wait to see the packages under the tree for them. Under an idol, mind you. An idol that you cut and bring into your house. Need I remind you the cross that Jesus was put on was a tree that was cut. You wash up the creature more than the Creator with your idols. Just like in the day of the provocation, like in the days of Moses, when Moses went up the mountain to get the commandments of God, and when he came back down, what were the children doing? Worshipping their idols. What do you think you're doing now? Worshipping your idols. Your gold, your silver, your digi-dollars. Oh, and let's not forget my favorite. Your nanotechnology. AI built. Zenies. That's what I'm going to call this from now on. Zenies. Yes. Because I can't say the actual word. So I'm going to call them zenies. Rhymes with genie. But starts with a Z instead of a V. You were caught in the vacuum. You were caught in the snare. And as a snare it cometh on the whole world. Luke 21. I think that is Luke 21:25. If I'm not mistaken. Look it up. Read the whole chapter of Luke 21. It'll do you good. But let's get back into a little more of this footage. This is probably going to pop into a part 3, maybe even a part 4.
CBDC is a go. It's ready to be implemented, and it is ready to bring. It's really totalitarianism. You can call it communism, whatever you want to call it. But
That's what
when
I
you
said.
control
I haven't
the money
listened to all this,
supply,
by the way.
you control the people.
But I'm glad
So
she's
you're
agreeing with
saying
me.
that it'll start with having to be registered to even get on the internet.
That's correct.
So there's going to be a
already
landing
happening in
page.
Australia.
A landing page comes up.
Gonna have to be registered to even get on the internet.
Yeah, I mean,
do you understand that you're not even going to have access to the internet unless you wash up the global beast system? Which means worshiping the beast. Or you're going to be cut off from everybody and everything. And that means your little trinkets, your little trinkets. Your phones and all that stuff, your tablets, your computers, they're going to be useless unless you take and get your digital ID. And then what will you do? How will you communicate with people? Because you don't even know how to have a conversation with people anymore unless it's through text or on social media. Oh my God, you're actually going to have to talk to people again. Oh Lord. What will you do? I grew up shouting backward. What will I do? It's called Open Your Mouth and Speak. I'll see you in part 3.